I'm John Gray, and I'm just plain living.
Good morning, Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
How are y'all? Are you doing good?
Yeah, we're doing good.
You've had a busy week.
Yeah.
Busy week.
Weeks to come.
And more yet. I mean,
It's never ending.
if you don't get in the spirit around here, it's nobody's fault but your own.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's Christmas parades, and there's civic choirs, and there's church choirs.
And there's the Nutcracker and dancers and singers.
Yeah, and this, I know this will be too late for this, but tonight's the Old Town Christmas Stroll
Right.
Yeah.
in Tullahoma, and when this shows, that'll be happening, but that's 4 or 5 places you can go and hear
There's
seasonal
always
music.
something to go.
You're a part of that, aren't you, Peggy?
I am.
Peggy's a part of everything.
My private
Yeah, I know
students
it.
are going to sing, and we have the nerve to follow the Aristocats. That's kind of crazy. But I have some good students, and they're sweet, and it's nice to do this for the community.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Absolutely.
things happening.
And a chance for the Civic Center to advertise the Beatles tribute band that's coming up Friday night.
You like the Beatles, you need to go see that because they do a great job.
This is one of the finest tribute bands that I've ever watched, and nationwide they have been given some nice awards.
Acclaim.
So it's your own fault if you don't go.
I understand the Dustin Lynch concert at the high school last night.
I know, wasn't that a
super.
wonderful
Yeah,
thing for
yeah.
him to do for
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
community,
Yeah.
to bring it home, and
Yes.
it was packed, I'm sure,
Oh, yeah.
and I hope
That's
that
what they say. I saw a
Were
picture
you allowed
of
to video any?
No, I was on television doing Tennessee Traveler, so.
Oh, okay. So
I
I just wondered if
we
you'd
didn't
be
have
allowed to
anybody
show one little
available to.
clip or something.
We didn't have anybody
I doubt we
available
would've
to
been
do
able to
that.
anyway.
Probably not.
However, there's several videos circulating around out there.
He is a really
with people took off their cell phones.
Kind
I
and
guess.
generous young man, not only
Absolutely, yeah.
talented, but his.
John recognized
him to do
Dustin's
this.
talent years ago,
Really?
early on. I mean, he was,
Yeah, he had a little band. He had a little band around here called 15 Rain.
yeah.
And
I
at that
remember that, yeah.
point, he was doing then in this town what he did last night. He would go down to the shelter down there at McEwen Park and play and give all the money to charity.
Yeah.
No, and he's still doing that.
He's still doing
He's
that.
still
That's what
doing
he
that.
did last night. And we've already gotten the X, folks, because this show, there's so much going on in this town, in this area. We've been filming all weekend, have a lot of great things to show you. So the useless drivel ends right here. We'll be back after these messages.
The Russell Barnett Automotive family would like to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. For the past 34 years, we've proudly served you in the new and pre-owned automotive industry. We look forward to serving you many years to come. We have over 1,000 vehicles to choose from at russellbarnett.com. That's Russell Barnett Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevrolet, GMC, and Ford of Winchester, and Russell Barnett Ford and Kia of Tullahoma. That's russellbarnett.com. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
It's your trademark. That's something special everyone knows and remembers. It's your thing. It's made holidays special for decades and summers unforgettable for the entire neighborhood. It's made everyone laugh every single time. Don't let illness or injury keep you from doing your thing. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and this segment of our program is called Police Pointers, and we're pleased to have Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell with us today. And,
Good morning.
Paul gave us some useful information a couple of weeks ago about being alert when you're shopping and doing all that sort of thing. And as I'm looking at the mall the day after Christmas, my goodness, or day after Thanksgiving rather, I hope they use those pointers because there's a lot of people out there.
And you're right. I actually went out and did some shopping with my wife over the weekend, and we went to the mall.
Yeah.
And was very pleased with how many cars were there, how many people were there. And yes, hopefully they heard some of those safety measures and do put them into place.
Yeah, a lot of what Paul will tell us, I guess, here on Living. You also have a newspaper article in the Oklahoma News about that.
Do an article every 2 weeks in the news, and try to mirror what we talk about here with what we talk about in the paper, so that we can get the largest audience we can to gain that wonderful knowledge.
Knowledge is important, especially this time of year.
That's right.
Today you're going to talk about driving.
Defensive driving. We talked about, as you said, the safety tips a couple of weeks ago. Defensive driving is probably just as important because the roadways have become much more congested during this time of year. I was doing the monthly stats yesterday and noticed that last month, November, we were a little bit higher than this time last year for the monthly accidents. But we're still on track to be less overall accidents than last year, so that's good. But again, I was driving in this morning and I heard an accident get dispatched over the radio at an intersection that's controlled by stop signs.
Right.
And I always want to say, stop signs. If everybody would stop at the stop sign and practice the who's got the right of way and make eye contact and give a little hand gesture, we can reduce those accidents.
You know, actually, I'm amazed that there aren't more accidents. But so I guess,
please.
I guess overall they do pretty good. But then you're aware of those statistics.
And you know, last month we had 51 accidents that we report to the state. You know, the things that we don't report to the state, maybe someone walks in and says, my car was parked at Walmart and I got this scratch on it. We don't report that to the state because we don't really know what happened.
Sure.
Yeah, but we had 41 accidents that were property accidents only, and then 10 that involved injury. So that's 51. And this month, again, we're about 100 down from last year.
That's a lot, isn't it?
That's pretty significant. So depending on how many we get in December, say we get 50, we'll still probably come in about 50 less than last year, which is a great reduction. We've been reducing accidents over about the last 6 or 7 years. We've seen a decline, and we kind of look at our traffic enforcement and how the accident numbers kind of look, you know, to find out where maybe do we need to increase our traffic enforcement. If we find an intersection or a stop sign that we're having quite a few accidents at, we're going to focus on that. But that's just part of defensive driving. You know, those times you don't have an accident, we've always heard, look out for the other guy. And that is so true. If you're driving and just looking at where you're at right now, that quick, if I can get it to do it, that quick, you're past that. So you've always got to look down the road. Where are you going? Look beyond that car in front of you. You see that car to your left or your right approaching the road that you're on. Be leery of them, you know. You might have to take some defensive action to avoid an accident. But so many times we'll work an accident and we'll ask somebody what happened. I don't know. They just hit me.
Right.
You know, and I want to say defensive driving helps prevent some of those things. We talk about the 2-second rule. When you're following another car, you should stay 2 seconds behind them when the conditions are optimal, dry roads. And 2 seconds meaning once they pass a landmark, could be a red light, a sign, you should count 1001, 1002, and then you pass that landmark. Of course, if the weather's bad, you need to increase that to about 3 seconds. But the big thing is look where you're going, not where you've been. And you know, there are people on the road that get in a hurry. We know that when you get in a hurry, you're going to take chances. Sure. You're going to go a little bit faster than you should. You're going to roll through that stop sign. You're going to try to beat that light before it turns red, and the result could be an accident. And then when you have an accident, no one wins. You know, there's property damage. You're late for wherever you thought you had to hurry to get to. So encourage people just to slow down and watch for the other car. That means the car down the road, the car that you see way off to your left or way off to your right. Be leery of them.
You know, I used to tell my daughter when she first started driving that you can't always count on the fact that just because you have the right of way that somebody's not going to run that stop sign or whatever.
Right.
So that's you need to be aware of those kind of things.
And there's so many distractions nowadays.
Sure.
The cell phone, big distraction. I think all of us have probably talked on our cell phone while we're driving, and we realize I am not aware of what's going on. That phone is in your ear, that person's talking to you. Of course, we're not going to talk about texting because that's illegal. You're not supposed to text and drive.
Exactly.
But you can still talk on your phone and drive.
That's insane as well.
Yes. But you actually do kind of lose your attention span when that phone is right up to your ear.
Can you comment a little bit on that four-way stop? We had a couple of minutes left here, and that's kind of something that...
when you approach an intersection controlled by a four-way stop, the basic rule is the car that gets there first has the right-of-way. Now, when two or more cars get there about the same time, then the car to the right has the right-of-way. And what I always like to say is look at that person, because they're probably just as confused as you are, and a little signal that says, come on, come across, goes a long way.
Sure.
And then you get those where a couple cars may show up at the same time, and then here comes that third one and doesn't want to wait, and will barely tap their brakes and keep rolling through. That's when we're probably going to have an accident.
Right.
Because these other two drivers were doing the right thing, and then you get that third one added in the mix, and they're in a hurry. And one of those two that had legally or had properly stopped makes their turn, and this other car hits them.
Exactly.
So it's pretty. If you get there first, and you know you're there first, you have the right of way. If you get there about the same time, the car to the right. So if you're at an intersection and there is no car to your right, you have the right of way.
Yes. Okay. And I know a lot of you've got a lot on your mind right now with the holidays and stuff like that. So you need to, when you're driving, you need to focus on
what
you're
do.
doing.
The holidays are supposed to be fun times, and the last thing we want someone is to have their car torn up, their car is in the body shop.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of expense, and then the personal injury.
Sure. Yeah.
I think one day I'd like to bring a whiteboard and we'll draw some intersections or whatever.
That's a good idea.
And we'll play with cars.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We'll throw some different scenarios up there and kind of show that, because driving, a lot of us do a lot of driving. You know, you take we have our delivery people, we have our police officers, our firefighters.
Right.
A lot of people make their living by driving.
Sure.
So accidents are going to happen. That's why we call them accidents.
Yes.
But we hope we can prevent as many of them as we possibly can.
Okay. Pay attention. Listen to what the chief says. Paul, thank you so much.
All right.
I appreciate it.
And Merry Christmas if I don't see you.
Merry Christmas to you. That's right. I may not see you anymore.
We may not. I have to look at the calendar.
Yeah, well, I think we've got one more coming up, but maybe not. It might be on the weekend.
If not,
Christmas.
I'm going to make sure I get it paid forward.
Exactly. All right. Folks, we'll be right back with more living right after this.
Let the Smokehouse be your mountain getaway destination in beautiful Monteagle, Tennessee. Enjoy our cabins, restaurant, and old general store. Shop thesmokehouse.com, featuring homemade barbecue sauces, jellies, and many other fine Tennessee products. Our live Music on the Mountain series features some of the best local and Nashville talent every Friday and Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. No cover, kids welcome.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Welcome back. I'm here with Richard Burton, and he's really not my first cousin, but he should be. With
Well,
a name like
maybe,
that,
don't
how can you
know.
miss? Yeah. He's here advertising for Friday night show of the Rigneys. Do they still just call themselves the Rigneys or the Rigney family?
The Rigney
or-
family.
Everybody knows the Rigneys, and
Yes.
great bluegrass and a little bit of crossover sneaks into their music, doesn't it?
That's right.
And so tell me about it. What time does it start, and tickets, and where to get tickets and all that?
Okay, the Rigney family Christmas is going to be December 19th, which is Friday evening at 7:30. And it's at the Manchester Arts Center, right downtown Manchester, and you can purchase tickets at millenniumrep.org.
And that's a good deal because you get your tickets cheaper, I believe. Or they did have that.
Well,
Has that changed?
We would,
Don't
except
get
for this
smart.
show is the Rigney family has agreed to do this as a benefit for the Arts Center
Oh,
because
wonderful.
of all the expense it takes to keep the
Yeah.
Manchester Arts Center running. Being a nonprofit organization, we arranged with them to do this. The tickets are $20 each. It's only a one-time show,
one-time show.
because the next night they'll be in Alabama
Yeah.
performing, so they've got a very busy
The
schedule.
Rigneys are very generous, they're very talented, they're fun, they're sincere, and the show is always great. And I guess it'll be 2 acts. Do y'all have a warm-up show or anything like that, or is it
No,
all
just-
about the
it'll be
Rigneys?
the end. The first portion of the show, the first half of the show, will be their music
Okay.
that they've written and recorded, and the second half will actually be Christmas songs.
Okay, so people
that
can sing along if they want
They
to.
can sing along and enjoy the season.
Well, I think it'd be a good idea for people to get tickets for the Rigneys because Andrew is probably about ready to move on out into life, and hopefully they're going to be able to stay together.
Well, they've that's part of them growing up, and
Mm-hmm.
it's wonderful to see them perform together as a band,
As a family,
as a
and a
family.
band, yeah.
But I think they all realize that make the best they can
Well,
of
you
it right
can,
now, because after they grow up and go to school and get
Different
out of
things
school,
happen, I know,
life
so-
happens. But
It's on the 19th. What time does it start?
at 7:30.
7:30. And if people don't know where the rep is, tell them real quick the address.
It's on right off Main Street, right in downtown Manchester. You can't miss it. And actually, we've had some renovations to it.
Manchester looks great now.
Oh, it is.
I
They
can't get
finished-
over it. It's beautiful.
They finished the square. Decorations are up. Real easy to get to as far as
And
parking.
you know they've got those seats built into the sidewalk, sort of in different
Yes.
places. Just a great place to hang out. I'm
Yes,
proud of
and that
our.
downtown square. It was a nightmare during the past few months as
Because
they
it
were
was all
renovating. But
torn
now
up,
it's
yeah.
well worth it. And
Well, I made a point of going to one of the places to eat on the square, and I had not seen it since the renovation. Although I've been to the Mac to shows, but it was at night and I didn't notice.
Right.
Anyway, I'm really proud of that, and I know you all are too. And it's helping the theater
It's helping
because
us.
it
and-
draws people in when things are nice like that.
Right, and I think the theater and the things we have going on down there with Millennium Rep
Well,
theater group.
I have to hand it to you. You guys have something going on all the time.
Yes.
I don't know how you keep up with it. What comes after? What is there anything on this weekend?
Well, this weekend there's the We Actors Guild is doing 'Twas One Crazy Night.
Oh, sweet.
And it's also just a one-night show.
How old are the We Actors?
Well, they're anywhere from 4 or 5 up until the teenage. Then
Yeah.
you have the Teen Actors Guild.
And you've produced some wonderful shows. You brought out a lot of talent in the community, and I'm really proud of the Millennium Theater and the Tullahoma Community Playhouse and everything that goes on in this region. We're very blessed to have so much going on.
Well, we enjoy supporting each other because a lot
think
of our
so.
performers and volunteers come from the Tullahoma area. So, and then some of the Manchester performers
and
come over here.
I know some Winchester people that were recently on Jamie Harden's show, and
Right.
I hear Elvis Presley might be in the future, and I just think there's so much. But don't forget the Rigney family, which is on the
19th, Friday the 19th.
of December. Get your tickets now. Richard, it is so good to see you. Thank
Well, it's
you for
great to
all
see
you
you
do for the
again.
arts. We'll be back.
Looking for a unique gift for someone special, or perhaps something just for yourself? then you need to check out Grady Mac Denim Company, right here in the heart of Tullahoma. Grady Mac features the full line of men's and women's Lucky brand apparel. Stop in and check out our denim production line. Grady Mac offers a full line of outdoor sporting apparel and much more. And check out our custom fly fishing equipment, fine art, and signed sports memorabilia. There's something for everyone at Grady Mac Denim Company, the most unique store in Tullahoma.
We get closer to a world with more birthdays when we take cancer patients by the hand. We help them find answers and guidance and hope, and give them more candles to light. We're the American Cancer Society. Help create a world with more birthdays at morebirthdays.com.
Whoa, that was a rough landing. Ho, 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 ho. Boy, sure is warm and cozy in here thanks to Stroups. I think I'll take me a long winter's nap.
May you rejoice in the perfect gift, our Savior, Jesus Christ, the perfect joy, the perfect peace. To all of you, we wish
Merry Christmas.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
And this is a reception at South Jackson Civic Center for the Grand Marshal for the Tullahoma Chamber of Commerce and Stan McNabb Christmas Parade. And that young man is Justice Sheffield, Tullahoma's own baseball pitcher, Gatorade National Baseball Player of the Year, and now a professional athlete. Celebrities of the Christmas parade right here. There's Judy Boss, Jamie McNabb, Justice and Diane, and Mayor Lane Curley.
Well, for those that don't know me, I'm Diane Bryant with the Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce. And of course, it is our pleasure to coordinate and put together another Christmas parade. This is the 58th annual Christmas parade, and it is the second year of the Stan McNabb Automotive Group Tullahoma Christmas Parade. And we have a couple of McNabbs around here. Obviously, I have Jamie McNabb here with me, and she is our chamber president. And then we have Stan McNabb here with us as well. I would like to turn the microphone over to Jamie McNabb, who is our 2014 President of the Chamber.
Thank you, Diane. I do want to welcome everyone here tonight. I am wearing two hats. I am part of the Stan McNabb Automotive Group, but then I'm also President of the Chamber and have enjoyed my year, and we're so excited about the parade tonight. Last year, I don't know if you remember, it was absolutely flooding, pouring rain. Tonight, we have a few sprinkles. It'll just put us in the spirit of Christmas and winter time and everything, and we're so excited to be able to have Justice as part of our parade and to be the Grand Marshal. So we're looking forward to that. I want to thank South Jackson for allowing us here and for Hope Sarton for setting up our refreshments for us tonight. Once again, I thank you for being here and for being a part of the grand events that we have going on in Tullahoma. And I'll turn it back to Diane.
Thank you, Jamie. Well, and I do want to acknowledge that Jody Valtz is with us tonight. This event could not happen without the help of all of the city employees and all the great things that they do. So they're out there scurrying around and working, and they will be scurrying around and working well after the parade is over. So we could not do this without them. And I also would like to ask the mayor to step forward, if you will. Mayor Lane Curley, if you'll come forward. We all want to be able to look at those shoes that you have on here tonight. We got a lot of fashion statement going on in the footwear, but the mayor likes to walk the parade.
Tullahoma residents that are here, thank you for being here. To our visitors to Tullahoma, welcome to Tullahoma. Once again, this is just a great day to be in Tullahoma. You really can't appreciate it exactly right now, but in the few minutes when you see the parade and either drive in the parade or walk in the parade as I do, this is really a community effort, really a team effort. And folks, this is just really a community affair that really is a special thing for Tullahoma. We have thousands of people that watch the parade, and certainly a lot more even on television that watch the parade. So, and Justice, we appreciate you being here as well. You're a big part of Tullahoma's success and part of your success, and we appreciate you very, very much. So thanks again to everybody for being here. Look forward to a great parade and a great rest of the year in Tullahoma, and just an unbelievable year next year in Tullahoma. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce our Grand Marshal to you. I made the statement, I think the Tullahoma News used it the other day, that we've really had a lot of fun with Justice for like a month and a half now. I said, and the parade hadn't even started. It just makes everybody feel so proud of our community when we continue year after year to have people of our community that we can honor with this honor of being the Grand Marshal of the Christmas Parade. So there's just so many things that he's done to really represent our community and make us proud. But one of the things I think we all need to keep in mind as he makes these next steps in his life, everywhere he goes, he's going to be Justice Sheffield from Tullahoma, Tennessee. He is going to be an ambassador to us. He's going to be all over this country, but you've already ventured outside of the United States limits. So I'm sure you're going to say Tullahoma, Tennessee around the world as you continue with your journeys. So on behalf of the Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce and the City of Tullahoma, we would like for you to reach over there and light the Christmas tree, and then we would like you just to have a few moments and share a few words with us. All right.
Thank you. That was quite an introduction. I mean, like I said, this is a great honor. I'm excited to be here tonight and be able to do this with my fellow Tullahomians. And like I said, anywhere I go, I'm from Tullahoma. You know, they're not going to put just from Tennessee, from Nashville, or anything like that. They're going to put Tullahoma on the screen when I'm on the big screen and pitching that progressive field. But you know, I thank all y'all for coming out tonight and celebrating this with me, and I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's night. Thank you.
Grill 'em at Gillum's, Tullahoma.
Are you a shoeanista with no place local to find your style? Well, now you don't have to travel any further than Bren's Shoe Boutique, located at the Village on Jackson, 1940 North Jackson Street, Suite 120 in Tullahoma. From funky to formal, you can find the fit and style that will make you smile at Bren's. A shoeanista herself, owner Brenda Kemp offers brands like Rocket Dog, Jessica Simpson, Mia, Nine West, J. Renee, Bandolino, and more. Want that accessory splash that none of your friends have? Bren's offers a selection of one-of-a-kind handbags and jewelry with just the right bling. So if your shoe selection doesn't stack up, find what you've been looking for at a price you can afford at Bren's Shoe Boutique, now open in Tullahoma.
Did you take your medicine? Oh, gosh, I forgot it. Her nurse. You need a claim number? Her personal assistant. Let me just grab her housekeeper. Her cook. Her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
All right, folks, we're back, and I'm excited because I have a bubble of joy on the set with me today. Miss Sharon Edwards from the Lanham Library, and I just love it every time she shows up because it's
I love being here.
It makes me happy because she's just a happy girl.
Well, thanks.
And she's the librarian, the children's librarian at the library. And, you know, since you've shown up, there's just all kinds of things going on over there.
Well,
and it really makes me happy. You know, to see that facility used the way it's being used now, and watch the stream of kids coming in and out of there, and we always want to give you an opportunity to promote your next event. And I know this time of year with the kids being out of school, you'll have a lot of stuff going on.
Absolutely.
So tell us.
Well, absolutely, and I appreciate you saying that about the way the space is being used, because I really believe that libraries are the heartbeat of a community, you know, and Lanham strives to create a place where the community can come for civic engagement, a place where people can discover and grow and be entertained and
discuss.
And discuss and engage with each other.
And learn new words like dystopian.
Yes, he just learned about dystopian literature this morning. And so he's been reading it, he just didn't know it was called that. But yeah, and discuss with each other, and a safe place, you know, where families can come and enjoy each other's company in an event that doesn't have any strings attached. Do you know what I mean? They just come and just enjoy, and then
I would assume I would be one that would feel safe to leave my child there, and go run an errand or go. You know, we're so protective of our children these days, rightfully so. But you know, it's good to know that there's a place where your children will be safe, and watched, by responsible people while you go to the grocery store. You know?
that often happens. We don't advocate that, but that has happened.
But it's, you know.
And we do. I mean, it's a safe place for all people. And but you're right. We have lots of events coming up, so you guys come to them.
Tell it.
Yes. This Thursday night at 6 o'clock, the We Actors Guild, which I think you just had somebody on talking about that, which is exciting. They're presenting their production, One Crazy Night Before Christmas.
Oh.
And it's going to be really, really cute. I mean, it's little kids singing and dancing.
Yeah, how can that not be cute?
Yeah, and so it's a free performance. Bring the family, get in the holiday spirit. It's going to be at the library.
We Actors Guild, which means they're we.
They're itty bitty.
Itty bitty folks. The ones that you deal with all the time.
Yes, except I'm the one who does the singing there. Good morning, everyone, and how are you today? Yeah, that's what I do.
All right. So then
that's this Thursday, and then next Tuesday we're doing a partnership with the Hands-On Science Center.
Oh.
I love to get involved in new community partnerships.
Right.
We're starting a partnership with Tullahoma Parks and Rec in January. I'll tell you that in a minute.
So what's Thursday? Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday at the Hands-On Science Center, we're doing a Frozen-themed story time.
froze.
Yes, Anna and Elsa, it's just also...
They're queens of the world right now.
Oh my goodness, they are their own entity. The kids just love them, so we thought, why not use that and promote literacy and science at the same time? And so since it's at the Hands-On Science Center, I mean, if you're a member, you get in free, but it's $5 except for 3 and under are free.
So are y'all going to make ice?
They're going to make snow. Kids are going to learn how to make snow like Elsa. It's a science experiment. It's really cool.
That's pretty cool.
I don't exactly know how it works. It's like baking soda and something else, and you mix it together and it makes snow.
Or it's water and cold air.
Or water and cold air. There, that's the actual way to make it. Yes.
Throw it up.
Ta-da! And then we're going to teach them magic there. And then I'll read some stories, and we'll have a sing-along because they all know every word.
When we were discussing that they were at the Northgate Mall last weekend, and there was thousands of people out there.
It was amazing.
And all of those little wee people knew every word to every song.
They did.
And they had dresses on.
Yeah,
they were frozen. It was frozen.
I stood in line myself with my daughter. We stood in line for 2 hours to get their picture made with the princesses.
With the princesses.
It was amazing. It was such a success. Kudos to you guys who put that on at Northgate Mall. I was so proud of Tullahoma that day.
Okay, so after the Science Center.
After the Science Center, then next Thursday we've got a family movie night.
And will that be a Christmas movie?
It is a Christmas movie.
Imagine that.
We have a licensing to show movies in the library, and we can say the title in the library, but not outside the library.
Right.
But maybe I can give you some hints, and if you could guess the movie, I don't know. I haven't discussed this with him. We'll see.
No. All right. Let me see if I can guess the movie.
Okay. It's Santa's Helpers.
That would be elves.
Only one.
The elf.
Ta-da! There you go. I can't say it, but
pretty quick. Pretty quick, huh?
Yeah, we should make that a game.
Yeah.
I am actually wanting to plan a game night where we maybe do like 80s trivia, 90s trivia.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Or like I love doing
okay. So we got 30 seconds. What else?
30 seconds. That is it, but January the 3rd, which is the Saturday before Downton Abbey premieres, we're screening the 4th episode. I just said I couldn't say that, and look at that. I'm just giving the title away. Because I'm so excited. I'm a Downton Abbey
fan. Downton Abbey. I said it. She didn't say it. I'm a ventriloquist.
That's what it was. That's what it was. But we're doing and talking about fashion through the ages as women gain more independence, the fashion change. Great. So I love it.
All right, we're done. Sharon Edwards.
Thank you so
Atlanta
much.
Memorial Library.
Great to see you.
She is the real Snow Queen. That Elsa and Anna, they're knockoffs of her. So we love having her, and we hope you'll stay tuned because we'll be right back.
Thank you so much.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street, heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one!
Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
couldn't be happier to be sitting on the set with anybody else. Jim Zidane, Christ Community Church, is here today, and we're going to talk about some things.
Yeah. This week,
Thursday night.
Yeah, this year we're having our annual Christmas concert, big band celebration on a Thursday because my daughter's graduating from UTC on Saturday.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Aren't you proud of her?
Yeah, really
That's
excited.
wonderful. The family grows up, moves on, and
not too far. Chattanooga's pretty close.
Well, South Jackson Street Band will be playing for the dinner dance that Jim's church group is so kind to do.
Yeah.
But the main focus, I believe, is on the
Build a House project.
House.
Well, it's kind of a neat conglomeration of things. We had a Christmas party at our church. You called me a few years back and said, can the band play? I said, well, we often have a violinist or a guitarist in the corner. Why not a 16, 17-piece band? We tried it, and now I think we're in our 4th year.
Isn't that great?
And all the people that follow the
excited.
band come, and we have our Christmas party. And then after I came back from Africa, I shared with you that we were trying to build a home for a widow. And wouldn't you know, in the first 2 years of our big band Christmas concert party, we built that house.
And I'm so pleased about that.
Yeah, and we have pictures of it that we gave out last year. It's completed. But this year, one of the men that was a translator for me took in 8 AIDS orphans.
Isn't that wonderful?
And when he did, his family kicked him off the family land because they were frustrated that he had taken in all these
taken on so many
misfits.
people to take care of.
Yeah, so he's homeless. So I thought, let's build another house. So the party is $20. That covers the meal.
And the meal is wonderful.
Oh, it's my wife and some friends
I couldn't
cater
get
that.
over the amount of food that those guys put out.
And a dessert buffet and coffee
and tea
yeah.
and water and
then we give money to the band, and they deserve it. They work so hard and train so hard and practice. And then we'll be able to give some money toward this project, and then anyone that wants to give and participate can.
The way I feel about it's a great chance to give a Christmas gift where it's really needed.
Well, you said earlier, you know, what else do we need? And
Exactly.
people ask you, and just $25 or $30 toward building a house for someone that doesn't have a home.
And how much do you think it costs to build?
Well, when we started, what intrigued me when I left, they said $2,000. It really turned out to be about 4 to 5, but still, a house for 8 people.
And this is going to be 8 people plus
just
the gentleman.
Yeah,
he will live there with them.
Husband and wife, and they have a child of their own, and then they took in 8
Who actually
orphans.
does the building?
You know, that's another great thing, Peggy, is a lot of times when we go over there, we'll actually do the construction.
Actually do the construction.
It's better to send the money. It employs people in that community.
Right.
So you're giving the house, and then you're giving work.
And I think those of us that have so much, we don't realize how much just a small dwelling that is water safe, waterproof.
Yes, absolutely.
Because many of them live in mud houses
Mud
that
and
wash
stick.
away
I'm
every year.
not kidding. They live in mud and
They
stick
do.
homes. When it rains, they actually melt. This is such a great party, and we want to invite you to come out this Thursday.
We might want to give them the phone number.
Yep. This Thursday the 11th, 6:30, the banquet begins. You can call my phone. It's 931-247-8038. There's still room for a few reservations.
Okay.
And it reminds me of Fezziwig's party from Dickens, The Christmas Carol. So it's a great party.
And if you're a Scrooge, you can come on in too.
Yeah, we'll warm your heart up.
And if somebody failed to write that down, could they just call Christ Community Church?
I see Philip has it up on the screen there.
Yeah.
So you just give me a call there. Yeah, you could call Christ Community Church. It's
Or you
going to
can
come
even
back
call
to me.
me.
Call Peggy.
You can call me. You can find me in the phone book.
Yep. So we hope you come. It's such a great time.
And Jim Zidane will be singing with the band.
Yeah, that's
I'm excited about that.
That's on my bucket list,
Thank
singing
you,
with the
Jim.
big band. So thank you for having me.
We appreciate all you do.
It's good
We'll
to be
be back with more.
At the time, maybe you were just building a bridge, a business, or a community. Maybe you were simply working for a home or a better tomorrow. At the time, you served out of duty and love of country. But in that time, we see a legacy created, an American dream lived. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away, and choosing the right seat for your little one's age and size will take you down the road to safer travels.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Have you heard that little voice that beckons you to come home to Tennessee? Well, here's your chance. Here's a property offered by its owner. It's 20 miles from the National Walking Horse Celebration grounds in Shelbyville, Tennessee, and only 10 minutes away from the Jack Daniel Distillery in Lynchburg. It's located at 769 Shipman Creek Road. This property has over a 5,300 square foot home on 45 acres, and a sprawling 200 acres is also available. Let's take a look at the house. Built in 1998, this home has 4 bedrooms and 3.5 baths. This home offers wide open views, featuring the main floor with over 2,700 square feet of living room, an eat-in kitchen, a formal dining area, and a massive 20 by 19 master bedroom with a master bath and fireplace included. There is craftsmanship at every turn, solid cherry cabinets, built-in cherry shelves, and other solid cherry appointments. It's a 2-story home with 3 nicely sized bedrooms upstairs. Down a spiral staircase, the basement hosts a 40 by 40 den with a handcrafted bar. We're leaving the jukebox here, folks. The basement is a recreation room on steroids. There are too many closets to count and more than you'll ever need. There are so many places in this home to find peace that you'll seldom want to leave it. But when you do, you'll discover up to 200 acres of paved roads with city water. The property is quilted with streams, woods, ponds, and open pasture. The view from the porch alone is enough to say you're home. The property includes a 3-bay heavy construction shop and plenty of room to build stables and graze livestock. If Tennessee's been calling you home, start your journey by calling this number. A property like this comes on the market but once in a lifetime. We think you'll love it. We think you'll stay. This is a very real estate.
I'm meteorologist Leland Statham from the News Channel 5 Weather Center. Look to Jim Fuller and crew for local news night here on Channel 6.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today is a very, very special day for me. I am honored to have with me today Janie Price, Ray Price's widow and wife and longtime companion, and a wonderful lady. And also with her today is Steve Popovich, who is the president of Amiramonte Records. And thank you so much, both of you, for being here with us today.
Joe. You gave me such a build-up. I hope I don't let you down.
You won't let me down.
She won't. She won't at all.
You haven't yet.
Appreciate you having us.
You know, right here in front of you, folks, Ray Price, The Final Sessions. Beauty is Ray Price. Isn't it something? It's just amazing, the story of this album and how this has all come together. And you know, Janie, you've been behind the scenes for years with Ray, and as he stepped out, and like you said, when he'd leave home, he became Ray Price.
That's right.
You know, I guess we all see our artist only as artists, and it's hard to see behind the scenes that Ray was y'all have a ranch, and he loved animals. I think he was studying to be a vet.
Yes, he was.
And so all of a sudden, he ends up with pancreatic cancer and sees a timeline and said, I think I can do one more.
That's exactly what happened, John.
And called Fred Foster, his producer from years back, and said, Fred,
old friend.
Fred, can we do this? Fred said, oh yeah, we can do this.
That's right.
And started looking for songs. And I was fortunate enough to have somebody hand Fred one of my songs, Beauty Lies in the Eyes of the Beholder, and he put it on a stack of music and sent it to Ray, and Ray heard that song and it touched him. And so here we are, because of a song I wrote 20 years ago for my beauty. We're sitting in Tullahoma, Tennessee with Janie Price and Steve Popovich. And how did this album come together, Steve? And how did you end up involved in this, in the process?
Well, I got involved through a mutual friend, Joe Mansfield, who had worked with Ray for many years back when he was with CBS Records. You know, Joe's been a very good friend of my family's for many years, and
great promoter, great record man.
Tremendous guy, just a wonderful guy. And I recently took the position of president of Amiramonte Records, and Joe we had gotten together. He gave me a copy of the advance of Beauty Is, and they were looking to shop it to a few different record companies, and I listened to it, and I was just blown away. I was simply just, I couldn't contain myself. I was just so excited because it was such a remarkable project. It was just one of those things, I guess I was taught at a very young age. It was just, I was able to listen to it, and I knew that there was something magical about it. You know, I listened to it over and over and over, and you know, in our business, that's a great sign. You know, so I called Joe. I said, Joe, I want this to be the first release on Merrimount Records. You know, and I sent it to my people in Dallas, and they agreed. They loved it, and you know, we were excited about it, and we were willing and wanting to go to war for this project. You know, you could have all the big label people behind it, but if you don't have a believer, it means nothing. And I told you, I said, I want to be a believer. I am a believer. You know.
You know, and it's kind of funny, not ha-ha funny, but funny, that the last song on the album is Ray's rendition of I Believe. And Steve and I, as we email each other back and forth over the past year, and instead of saying thank you or hope you're doing well, we both put I Believe.
That's how you sign it.
That's how I sign it, I Believe,
Yes.
and you know, put our name down there, because it's a historic piece of work. You know, most of the time when people like Ray pass, and they do, they do a final, they come out with something, it's a compilation of old hits that they've had. Very seldom does it happen that someone of Ray's talent and 60 years of having chart records have a final album and it's all new work that he'd not sung before. Not all of the songs are new songs, but he had never recorded them before. Right. And so this is an all new piece of work for Ray, and for us, for the fans. They don't have this opportunity very often. This is historic, and it's being embraced that way. Absolutely. As a historic piece of work that will be there forever for folks and his fans and his lovely wife who he dedicated it to. And the Blooms, Daniel and Dana Bloom. Are these people that you had known in the past?
I had never met them.
But they are the ones behind the Merrimount Records.
That's correct.
And bless them for their ability and willingness to step up and promote this thing.
Absolutely.
What a leap of faith for two people to take.
Sure.
Knowing that Ray was so ill. I just am blown away myself every time I think about how this entire project came together.
Well, you know what tickles me is that the big boys swung the bat about 3 times and struck out, and Texas got to keep Ray Price.
You're telling the true story.
Texas
That's exactly
got
what
to keep
happened.
Ray Price, and massage Ray Price, and love Ray Price, and promote Ray Price like nobody else could have ever done.
No, Ray Price was Texas.
That's it. That's it. Well, speaking about promoting Ray Price, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and I want you to listen to what's going on here.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
Hello, this is Janie Price. When my husband Ray Price would tour across the country, his favorite place to dine was Cracker Barrel Old Country Store locations. His favorite thing to order was the Uncle Herschel.
And the beauty of it all is forever. You'll be holding me too.
I miss Ray dearly, and I'm so proud that his last album, Beauty Is, The Final Sessions, is available at his favorite restaurant.
A love affair to remember.
The project includes a duet with Martina McBride and harmony vocals from Vince Gill. Ray believed this to be the best recording he had ever made.
Oh, I wish I was 18 again.
I think you'll agree when you pick up your copy of Beauty Is the Final Sessions at a Cracker Barrel Old Country Store location near you or at crackerbarrel.com.
A world without breast cancer is a world with more birthdays. And signing up for the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk will help us get there faster. The American Cancer Society invests in groundbreaking breast cancer research, and we're part of every community. In fact, 1 in 2 women newly diagnosed with breast cancer turns to us for support. Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org. Together, we can finish the fight against breast cancer.
All right, folks, we're back, and we're visiting today with the lovely Miss Janie Price, the wife of iconic country music and pop music star Ray Price. You know, Ray was not just one genre of music. Ray stepped across the borders of the lines drawn in different type of music. I know at one time I think country might have been a little disappointed because he did Danny Boy, but true. Ray was an entertainer for all, not just one little segment. That's true. His talent and his music transcended those borders. Now, speaking about borders, I want to talk a little bit about Janie Price. You know, we've promoted Ray, and we know Ray, and we loved Ray for years and years and years. But I want to talk about you. You and Ray were married for what, 43 years?
43 years, 6 months, and 8 days. 8 days. There you go.
That's it. And when you met, were you what were you doing at that time? Were you in the entertainment business?
Well, I had become a legal secretary, and then from there I moved into modeling. And the only reason I tell you that is, had I not become a model, I would have never met Ray. And so that's how I had started modeling, and that was where I met Ray.
And then when you and Ray married, then Ray, as most artists do, have to hit the road.
That's right.
That's what it's all about. And you stayed behind, and y'all have a ranch.
Well, we do now. In the beginning, Ray and I were married June the 11th, 1970. And in the beginning, we lived in Dallas. And Ray's mother lived in Dallas. And so that was the reason Ray moved from Nashville back home. He just wanted to be near his parents because both of them had become elderly. And he just wanted to be near his parents, as well as the problem he had had with country music here. And here meaning Nashville. I'm sorry, we're not in Nashville. We're
Tullahoma.
Tullahoma. There you go. And I'm proud to be here.
I'm glad
so
you
proud.
are here.
So what happened was Ray was in the beginning. Ray was one of the very few artists who started out with the original Opry, the Grand Ole Opry. And he progressed from the Opry, and he changed as he went along, and he wanted to bring country music to the town. And he said that there was a time when people were ashamed to say they liked country music, because country music was like the hillbilly. There's the word I'm looking for.
You can't wear shoes unless
there
you're country music.
And you got to wear overalls, and you have to sit on bales of hay. And Ray Price said, "Hey, that's not the way people live.
No.
You know, we, even though we're from the country, we go to town and we know how to dress up." And so he said he was not ashamed of country music, but a lot of people were. And so Ray Price set about changing that. And that's one of the biggest things that Ray spent his entire career doing, was helping crossing those lines and moving from the old style of just the three-piece band or the four-piece band. He then went to a 6 and an 8-piece band, and then from there he moved into the larger band. When I met Ray Price, he was carrying a 22-piece orchestra. I traveled with him on the road and went to places where that band was so big they couldn't sit them on the stage. They overflowed down into the audience. It was neat. But Ray Price paid the dues. He put his money where his mouth was.
Right.
He didn't say, I want to change country music and make it more beautiful. He did it.
He did it.
Ray paid for,
it.
he hired, I wrote the checks out. We paid for those musicians.
And that's sort of what I want to get into. I want to talk about Janie Price, the businesswoman.
Okay.
And I know you probably don't consider yourself that, but you're the one who stayed behind the scenes and made sure the business side of it all was taken care of, and when that bus needed to be filled up, there was a check to fill it up, and when those musicians needed to be paid, and then later on you ended up, y'all have a farm or a ranch, I don't know what we call them farms around here, and y'all call them ranches probably.
Well, depending on what we're talking about.
Depending on, it depends on how much property it is. But, and Ray being, studying as a vet before he started singing, loved animals, and would see an animal somewhere, I guess, and ship them back to you to deal with.
He did not did he ship them, he brought them.
He brought them home.
He brought those animals home.
And so you ran the farm and ran the business side of it. And everybody, like you made a statement one time about Ray Price, how he was at home and how you loved how he was at home, but then when he got on that bus and stepped on that stage, he became the Ray Price that the rest of the world knows. And you, since Ray did this final project, he handed it to you and said, baby, this is something that you can keep forever, that shows you how much I love you. But you got to do something for me one last time. You got to take it to my fans.
There you go.
And so you've sort of stepped out into the spotlight on this thing.
Well, I really didn't step out. Steve Popovich lassoed me, and he pulled me out of that house with a rope. I honestly did not feel I was qualified to do this, and I still don't know if I am or not, John. I'm like every other wife who has ever taken care of their husband, and every wife takes care of their business. We all know that every wife takes care of their husband's business. Mine just happened to be a little bigger than most people, and the good part for me was that I had been a legal secretary and had been trained very well, and so I was able to take on those duties and to understand contractual obligations. And so from the very beginning of our marriage in 1970, I acted as Ray's personal business manager, and I never ever stopped doing that. It's just that as we started out, it was just a smaller thing, and then it grew and grew and grew as Ray Price's imagination and his projects grew. And so we lived in Dallas from 1970 and until 1982, and we had a beautiful office complex, and we had 13 employees. I had the Ray Price Booking Agency, the Ray Price Publishing Company, BMI, Janie Price Publishing, ASCAP. I had our own publicity company. We had our own promotion company, and we had our own Learjet parked out at Love Field, and we had those Rolls Royces, and we lived in a big, beautiful home out in North Dallas. And when we got ready to go to work, we got on that Lear and off we went, and we did those shows, and we were back home at 11 o'clock at night and in bed asleep. Well, that was my idea. And it was took a little talking to get Ray to make Ray to convert from over the bus. But once he traveled that way, he said, wow, this is the only way to go.
This is good. This is
But
good.
it gave us more time, because Ray has always spent the majority of his entire life on that road, in a vehicle, in the bus, traveling his whole entire life. And so that gave him more free time. And so the first thing that I found out when Ray and I became married was that he had a lot of thoroughbred racehorses, but he didn't have a farm. And so when I took over paying his bills, I started paying all these bills, and I got a horse bill from some place in Oklahoma. I got a horse bill from someone boarding some horses in Arkansas. They were in Tennessee. They were in Arizona. I said, Kansas? I said, what in the world are you doing with all these horses? He said, well, I've got them. I like horses. And he said, I didn't have any place to put them. So he said, all my friends are taking care of them for me.
And billing you.
That's what I said. I said, but honey, I'm a country girl, you know, and I thought, well, why don't we just go buy us a farm and build us a horse barn, bring these horses home, and then not only will it eliminate all those bills, but you'll get to be with them and enjoy them. He said, would you let me do that? I said, are you kidding me? I insist that you do that. And so that's how we came up with the farm. He started reading the Dallas paper, and we went to the East Texas section because we both love East Texas, and we started looking in the Dallas paper, and we found this advertisement, and we drove down and we saw that property the same day, and we just both fell in love with it. And let me tell you, John, it was nothing but an old pasture. It had a barbed wire fence in front of it, and it had an old road that went down to an old hay barn. And there were rocks on that farm the size of boulders. Now, I don't mean little rocks. I'm talking about the size of a Volkswagen, and maybe even some of a Subaru.
There you go. There you go.
But Ray Price said, I love this place, and he said, this is what I want. Is this okay with you? Big, giant, beautiful pine trees. These pine trees on our property were 70 to 80 feet tall. And another thing we found out that's interesting is that we had the only grove of twin pines in the whole Titus County area. We learned all these things from the old farmer we purchased it from. And they're trees who have the same base, and then they go up somewhere maybe 4 feet to 5 feet, and then they branch off, and then they grow to these huge giant trees. And both of us was from East Texas, and we stood there on that farm, and we heard the sound of that wind. There's only someone who knows the sound of that wind blowing in the pines will know what I'm talking about.
In the pines where the sun never shines.
That's what hit us there. We fell in love with that. We just stood there, and it was like our spirit was telling us, this is the place that we're going to call our home eventually. So Ray Price went to work. He completely, totally built that farm. You should see it now. It looks like any farm that you'd pass in Kentucky, any beautiful thoroughbred horse ranch.
Right. So now, folks, do you think this lady right here can't talk to someone? Can't get out and promote and sell? You know why you can?
No.
So easily?
No.
Because it's all the truth.
Oh, well, that's the fact.
And it's all from your heart.
That's true.
You're not trying to spin anything anyway.
Lord,
you're just telling things the way it is. So you don't, when you do that, you don't have to worry about thinking about what you're going to say. All you have to do is just talk. And you're absolutely wonderful. You've talked recently, you've been on the Huckabee Show.
Can you believe that?
Well, Huckabee and Ray were buddies,
yes,
weren't they?
Yes, they were. He loved Ray. He told Ray, can I tell you the story?
Sure.
Ray said, what an honor it was to come up and be on your show, Governor. And the governor said, Ray, let me tell you, this is the highlight of my life, to play bass behind you on this show. Yeah. And Ray said, but Mike, you've been governor of Arkansas. You've ran for president. He said, are you sure that he's, and you know what he said? Yes, I know, I've done all those things, but you're Ray Price.
That's it. That's it.
Isn't that thrilling?
And this is Janie Price, folks, and she is just delightful. You watch and listen and find a way to find out where Janie is and what she's doing, who she's talking with. We're getting ready to head over to the South Jackson Civic Center in just a minute and have a meet and greet with Janie. And I just can't tell you how honored I am that you're here in Tullahoma, and that I have an opportunity to meet you and be with you and Steve and these ladies, Missy and
Tammy.
Tammy. I can't remember Tammy for some reason.
Don't forget Tammy.
She's the
prettiest, isn't she?
She's the cowgirl. And all you folks from Texas, and we want everybody to remember, it all started with this right here. The final sessions of country music, crossover music, icon, Grammy Award-winning, Country Music Award-winning, fabulous artist for 60 years, had chart music. Nobody else can claim that kind of deal except Ray Price. And he left this for us. You get you one. If you don't have one, you go to Cracker Barrel, you go to Hastings, you go online, you find a way to own this album right here. I guarantee you, you will never be sorry. Every time you put it on to listen to it, it's delightful. And Miss Janie, I hope you have the greatest success in the world with this. And you know, we just might hitchhike out to Texas on our way to the Grammys.
I would love that. I fell in love with Fran. I just fell in love with her and your love story, and it's just so similar to mine, Ray's.
Right.
And I want to tell everyone here that he just gave me this beautiful basket. Are we going to, Philip, are we going to be able to show that basket?
Well,
maybe not, but I want to tell everyone that all of the items in that basket.
I'm going to get up and get the basket.
I am so excited about them because he told me they're from everyone here, and help me say the name of your town right.
Tullahoma.
Tullahoma. What's wrong with me? And I wanted everyone to know that he has gone through this basket. I'm so excited.
There you go.
I asked John, I wish I had time. I would love to come by and thank everyone who put something in this basket.
We put a little of the product in there.
And I told John that Ray actually, that was one of the things he would do before he went on stage, is he would take a little tiny shot of whatever this stuff is.
Whiskey.
And there you go. And then he would mix it with lemon and honey, and he said it helped his throat.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you for that.
And this is Chamber of Commerce throw and cookbooks from South Jackson.
I'm anxious to get in those. My sister Virgie is with me. I can't wait to get in that cookbook.
A lot of gifts from the folks at the Cokers.
And the baseball.
Baseball from Worth Manufacturing, and it just goes on and on. Rooster and the Red Maiden.
And the bow tie.
There's a little bow tie for Trixie, Ray's little Yorkie dog.
I want to thank everyone. Thank you for that.
All right, folks, and thank you, dear, for being here.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, go back to that double shot, Philip. Miss Janie Price. Look at that gorgeous smile.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll be back in just a minute, folks. It won't be better than this, I guarantee. But we will be back. Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network. And it's Breakfast with Santa 2014 with the Tullahoma High School Aristocats. And the room is full, and all the activities are the same as ever. There's cakes, and there's pies. All kinds of people in the room. I mean, it's full. There, look at that. Mr. and Miss Santa Claus, right there they are. Yeah, here we are over here. We're standing in front. That's the biggest door I've ever seen. And the biggest chair I've ever seen. Look at there. I mean, they're ready for Santa Claus. They're ready for Santa Claus here at Breakfast with Santa. And this is it. I just want you to see all these folks down through here.
Winter Wonderland, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, the Christmas song, White
Good morning.
Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas, pretty much all you can imagine. The soloists, or the instruments,
Good looking
White
folks.
Christmas is going to be Lauren Brown.
Look
Have
at
Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Caroline Waller. And
so here's the fireplace.
So we hope you enjoy this.
Okay, isn't that something? All these beautiful young people. Look at that little Christmas present right there, huh? Isn't that good looking? Shoot, you've already had your Christmas, haven't you? Back room here where Santa hangs out, and people are look at the elves there, and there's Santa over there, and all of these young people are getting their picture made with Santa Claus, and that's why they call it Breakfast with Santa.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Another
I want to hold your hand. hand. I want to hold your hand.
Did you love their music?
I love the Beatles music.
You're going to be there Friday night?
Going to be there Friday night,
so.
certainly.
I hope we have a huge crowd. I think the tickets are going really well.
That's at South Jackson Civic Center. It's The Return. It's a Beatles tribute
at 7
band.
o'clock, the CHS singers from Manchester, under the direction of Erica Wonder, is going to do sort of a warm-up show while people are getting seated. And then at 7:30, The Return, which is a tribute to the Beatles, and it's one of the best in the nation.
Right, and you know, we'll be hearing a lot of Christmas music for the next month, so take a break.
Take a break.
Listen to the Beatles.
Listen to the Beatles, I know.
Great fun.
Do you remember the Beatles?
Yeah, I remember the Beatles. I remember the first time they came on Ed Sullivan. The whole world fell apart.
I was actually in London that year.
Yeah. Oh, really? You were right there then.
We lived
All right,
there.
folks, what we're going to do now is take you to a little bit of a video from the Tullahoma Christmas Parade that was held this past Friday night. And stay in the spirit, stay safe out there. Watch out for little children running around. Don't want to run over anybody. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Help, which lets them help each other in case of need. As the Grand Marshals are coming up now, and boy, this is a very special one this year as well. I guess they all are, Candy.
Well, sure.
Every year, but
he's one of our homegrown.
That's Justice Sheffield, of course, ladies and gentlemen, first round draft pick of the Cleveland Indians this year, and he's back in Tullahoma for the winter season. What a great young man he is, and what a great family he has as well. It appears to be the mayor of Tullahoma that you saw in your picture there, Mayor Lane Curley.
You can't get a ride, can
he? He's promoting all this Get Fit Tullahoma stuff, so you know, he's setting a great example out there by walking in this parade. Tullahoma Mayor Lane Curley now serving his second consecutive term. Now coming into your view, ladies and gentlemen, the Moore County High School Marching Band. This is Hannah Taylor Gilbert, who is Miss Tullahoma 2014.
Well, there's a proud papa driving her.
Yeah.
Yes, she's beautiful, isn't she?
And looking at Anna, you can tell why she was selected Miss Tullahoma 2014. Coming into your view now is the junior Miss Tullahoma for 2014.
It's Jada Harden.
Another beautiful young lady.
She's a freshman at Tullahoma High School, and she's third of 7 children. What a big family she has. Yes, that precious little.
That's Hallie Grace Tips.
That's little Miss Tullahoma.
14 Miss Tullahoma.
Oh, oops. Oh, hang on to your crown, Hallie. Oh, my goodness. She's the daughter of Jason and Carla Tips. Okay, next, Jimmy, we have the 2015 Distinguished Young Women of Tullahoma and Tennessee, Ashley Stevens.
Ashley Stevens. And how many of those distinguished young Miss Tennessees have we had from the Tullahoma area?
I want to say 3. I think that's right. I think that's right.
The 2015 Distinguished Young Woman of Tullahoma, Ashley Stevens.
That's quite an honor.
And she's followed there by...
Oh, that's Macy Marin.
Macy Marin.
Yes, her daddy's driving her too. She's a senior at Tullahoma High School, and she enjoys playing soccer and cheering on the varsity squad. And Macy plans to attend college and major in communications in hopes of becoming a sports broadcaster.
And she'll be good at it too. She worked with us at Channel 6 for a while. As you were watching Miss Caitlin Maddox, who is
Miss Motlow. And Dylan Gilmer, Mr. Motlow.
I didn't see him. He was on the other side of
That was quick. That was quick. Oh, good. Look here. Here comes the Tullahoma High School Marching Band. I think you have a connection to that band, don't you, Jimmy?
I sure do, and I'm very proud of that. My son-in-law, Greg English, is one of the directors of that band, and along with his associates, do just a tremendous job of what they do there at the Tullahoma High School Band.
I believe I I see some reindeer antlers on.
I believe so.
Oh, I see a red nose. That looks like Hope Woodard. Maybe she's guiding the band tonight.
Maybe so.
Culture, history, heritage, traditions, and arts of Scotland and American and Scottish Americans. You can find them on, they even have a website. What about that? Out of them, and there was such a nice crowd. The children had a blast. Okay.
This is probably going to be some of the Corvette Club.
Their grandparents once again recently, and they are one of the sponsors for the Christmas
And these are really
parade.
some nice vehicles. This club is fairly new. Well, maybe been around 3 or 4 years, and really do a lot in our community. And it's a great club that we are part of there. It's, well, I think that's Tom Rice and that gray one over there.
Yeah, and that's Dan and Martha Mers right there.
Yes.
I think they're having a good time.
Winner of the Civic or Church group coming up next, winner of the Float rather, and I think that's going to be Cub Scout Pack 365 and Boy Scout Troop 502 Lynchburg, Tennessee.
And this category is sponsored by Gilliam's Marine. Oh, now they are having fun.
Oh, they are.
Look at Lucy. She's out singing them all. Peppermint Patty, look at them. Aren't they cute?
This is the signature.
It's the first place winner in the business category.
Okay.
Signature design. Movie time Christmas drive-in theater. You remember the drive-in, Jimmy?
I do. Do you remember it, Candy?
Very well.
Yeah. That's about all we can say about that, folks. And Cub Scout Pack 142. Tullahoma. The car there, CFCC recycling from here in Tullahoma.
We certainly need to encourage everybody to recycle, Jimmy.
And there's another one there.
They saved that one.
Yeah, I believe they did.
For 5 part.
Hillcrest Baptist Church coming up next. Hillcrest Baptist Church present the rest for the season. The nativity story is represented by a beautiful manger scene, followed by a beautifully constructed cross. Jesus is the real reason for the season, as you're watching the Hillcrest Baptist Church float. Coming up next is the Rogers Group. Rogers Group entry would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Rogers is proud to have been your supplier of crushed stone and asphalt paving here in Cobb County for over half a century. They're looking good there. All those kids backed into that, the back of that truck right there. That's pretty neat, isn't it? Yeah.
And the Civil Air Patrol.
Civil Air Patrol, I apologize.
I just love it how different communities come to our parade, and we go to theirs.
Oh, absolutely. Isn't that nice?
That's Jeff Osteen right there. Look at here at Gary Nicole's nativity scene. Santa float. What about it? My, this has been a quick parade, Jimmy.
Yeah, it went by in a hurry. Santa Float is sponsored by Southern Community Bank, and thanks to Christopher Equipment for checking on the Santa Float, and to Stampin' Them Automotive Collision Center for the repairs to that. I think suffered some damage last year. Cody Hall, the manager,